Amazing audience, we are live in Oklahoma. We are sitting with the amazing Tamara Walker. Tamara, good pleasure to connect with you.
It's great to meet you.
So here we go.
Yes.
I would like to know what's been the latest with you. The last time we spoke about the podcast one. We also spoke about what you were doing from the perspective of Ask Mom RN. Yeah? What's up?
Yes. Well, I've put the show on hiatus, so I'm just kind of waiting to see where God wants me next and what He wants me to be doing next. I haven't said that I've ended the podcast or the show because I've kind of put it on hold, waiting to see where I want to take it next and what I want to do with it and what I want to be doing in my life.
Yeah.
And so I've been very busy taking care of my family. We've had a lot going on. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to have the flexibility in my business to be able to do that.
Wonderful. Tell me more about your business, though, exactly what it does.
Well, I have a website called momrn.com, and then I have the podcast, which is Ask Mom RN.
Right.
And I like to help parents by giving advice and encouragement and support and information about children's health, children's safety, parenting issues, and just to really be a support for parents.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for a lot of years since we launched the website in 2001.
Wow.
So it's been a long journey.
So the RN part, tell me
Yes.
about the RN
The
part.
RN
please.
part is I am a registered nurse,
Right.
and I worked in pediatrics for a few years.
Pediatrics, okay.
So that's where the children's health aspect came from, as I do have knowledge and experience being a pediatric nurse, and so I used that to help parents with. And I loved it. I had always planned to go back to it, but I put my career on hold when my children were little so that I could stay home and be with them and raise them. And God had other plans, so I never actually went back to traditional nursing.
How old are your children?
My kids now are 26 and 23.
Okay. So are you considering going back to that? Pediatrics nursing?
Not really in a necessarily a traditional sense of nursing. I consider what I do through the website and through speaking with parents and through the podcast to be my non-traditional way of sharing my nursing knowledge and using my nursing skills that way. However, I have been thinking about the possibility of going back to school and becoming a nurse educator.
All right,
So-
there we go.
Something I'm thinking about and
But
praying
then
about,
that's-
one of many possibilities.
Yeah, because then that means you're going to have to spend money to make
Yes,
money.
yes.
Right?
So
And making money,
sometimes that's necessary.
it's, well,
Yes.
lots of times it's necessary.
Yes.
Especially when you're looking for clarity. One of the things I've
Absolutely.
found is going to work sometimes is like the step you take to bring clarity. And in working, you find out more. So last night, the crew we were staying with, the Cluts, that was the big thing. At the end of the day, you have to work,
Yes.
right? Even if it's fun, even if what you do is fun at this time, at some point in time, it turns to work. People say, well, I found the thing I love and it doesn't feel like work. Okay, it doesn't feel like work, but it's work, right?
It is.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when you decide what you decide. I'll definitely stay and connect with that. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Now, your name is Tamara Walker or Tamara Walker.
Tamara,
Well, I remember
That's
when we
okay.
spoke, right?
I get
That's
it
a
all
big
the time.
thing. But Tamara, tell me about your leg, please. That was interesting because
Oh, yes. He just learned that I have one leg.
Right.
We didn't talk about that the last time.
No.
I have a prosthetic leg. I've had it. It's below the knee on the right side, and I've had it all my life. I had a birth defect, and so when I was born, my leg was very, very deformed below the knee, and it just was not usable. And so my parents and the doctors made the decision to amputate it, which was the very best decision that they could have done, because otherwise I would have been in a brace with crutches or been in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So with a prosthetic leg, I've been able to live my life and do pretty much anything anybody else can do, and it hasn't slowed me down or kept me from pursuing whatever goals or things that I've I've wanted to do
Which
throughout
is
my life.
intriguing for me because I cover a segment called Your Own Unique Real Shoes, and it speaks to individuals, see your shoes, and they don't understand the steps that you've had to take in those shoes. And you having a prosthetic leg just speaks so much more to the concept, because I mean, you have one foot technically in a shoe, but and one that isn't yours, but the steps, the struggles you've had, like, you aren't stopping. Like, you aren't stopping. Even with what's going on with the podcast and hiatus, your children moving, as you said, like, what is the inspiration for it all? What keeps you moving?
I think my faith has a lot to do with it. I've always had a very strong faith and believe that whatever God calls me to do, He'll equip me for, or He'll prepare me for, or give me what I need to be able to pursue it. And so, for example, when I wanted to become a nurse, I felt that that was a calling on my life. I felt that that was something that God was telling me to do through multiple different ways. He showed me that's where He wanted me to be. And when I told my family that I wanted to be a nurse, and when I told my doctors that I was planning to become a nurse, I got a lot of pushback for that, because I have one leg, and then I also have hip and back problems because of it. And so, and especially as a teenager, when I was telling them this, I had been living with severe chronic pain, and they thought, this is not a good thing for you to want a job where you're going to be on your feet for 8 to 12 hours a day. That's crazy. But I knew that that was what God was calling me to do. And so I persevered, and it was difficult, and I dealt with a lot of physical pain for a long time, but it, my faith kept me going, and I knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing.
You went to pediatrics.
Yes, pediatrics was my specialty.
That is definitely on your feet.
Yes.
That is the work. That's where the work is, right? Like a ton of work.
Yes.
So you're doing that. And what was one thing you struggled with over the last year then, if you had to share with us? One thing.
Over this past year?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of loss in our family. We've had several loved ones pass away in the past year. And so that's been a very big factor in my decision to put things on hold with my business and the podcast that I've been doing, and just to kind of reassess where God wants me and what He wants me to be doing. And then, in addition to that, I've been taking care of my family. And so I've my energies have been needed elsewhere outside the business. So I'm thankful that I've had the flexibility to be able to put things on hold as I've needed to take care of them.
When you heard that this guy from the Caribbean was coming to meet you at your home, wherever place we are in Edmond, I think it is.
Yes,
yeah. What did you
Oklahoma.
think? There we go, Edmond, Oklahoma. It's a big place though, Edmond.
Yes.
What did you think? What did you think?
I was excited to meet you both, you and your lovely wife. When I saw that you were starting the crowdfunding campaign and that you had this vision to do this trip, I thought, what an amazing, cool adventure that not many people could do. And so I thought, well, I enjoyed our interview so much that we had done on your podcast. It really, truly was. I've been interviewed countless times, probably, dozens upon dozens of times over the course of my life since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And your interview stood out to me as among one of the most fascinating and interesting interviews that I've ever had, because of the questions that you ask and then the insight that you put with my answers.
Yeah.
So I thought, I've got to meet you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And here we are. It's amazing, right? Like what can be manifested from a conversation.
Yes.
Right? Like, here it is. We have a conversation. Like, I'm catching up in that. Like, I use the word amazing so much, right? But I feel as though I know you for 20 years now, right? After the conversation, which is intriguing. What is one thing you do regret? What's a regret you have?
A regret that I have? Oh goodness, there's probably many. I would say off the top of my head with my business, I think not being able to put as much into it as I would like to. I have dreams and visions for it that I've not been able to really work on or work towards it. And time keeps passing by so quickly, and it seems like the older I get, the faster it keeps going.
I feel the same.
So I'm learning, I really need to be working harder. And so I think I regret not putting some of the resources and energy and effort into it years ago that
would have been fruit
might have
today.
put me further today and produce fruit today.
Well, the good thing is there's a song you chose as your favorite song when you were 12, right?
Yes.
Do you remember it, right?
Yes.
What was the name of it?
Don't Stop Believing.
There we go.
By Journey.
There we go, right?
Yes.
Don't stop believing, because it's in the journey,
Right. And I think that God has a way of using us wherever we're at and helping us to, continue forward even when we have obstacles holding us back. And so I do believe it'll get there eventually. It may just be slower than what I had wanted.
Yeah. But it'll always be better.
Yes.
What are you most excited about right now?
I am very excited for both my kids right now because they are moving forward with their lives. One just graduated college and is starting a brand new job next week.
Right.
And then my oldest son has started a job last fall, and he gets to move to a better apartment at the end of this month. And both of them are moving, so things have been a little chaotic. But I'm just very excited for both of them because they are making progress in their lives, and they are working towards what they want to be doing with their lives.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great pleasure, my friend. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be a guest on your show.
You're welcome.
And thank you for coming and visiting while you're here in Oklahoma. And welcome to Oklahoma.
It's been great.
And I just, invite your audience to check out my website, which is momrn.com, and my podcast is Ask Mom RN. So all of the past episodes are available there on the website and on iTunes.
Well, there we go. Tamara Walker, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Boom.
Boom.